Jim, you're the type of person, you've had probably multiple people in your lives, coaches, teachers, trainers, pastors that have all reached you and you've tried to be better at some point in some capacity, at some time in your life.
Still trying.
Point exactly, right? Dave, the human nature is to just survive and be average. That is human nature. We're asking for someone to be better than human nature.
I see those big, bright, shiny red trucks just a-trucking down the road. Those big, bright, shiny red trucks just a-looking for another load. Well, it's a family tradition, any Rocky Mountain day. Our fathers before us showed us the way. We work for asphalt cowboys and concrete kings, but that's never been a problem, cause we got diesel in our veins. We've got diesel in our veins.
What's up, JFW family? Welcome back to the Channel 23 podcast. The purpose of this podcast is to reach out and touch the fleet, to engage and inform everyone with all things JFW. Good morning, Jim White, Brother Dave White, and Super Dave Weldon.
Hi, everybody.
Good morning.
Good.
I think we're all excited for today's podcast. As part of our excitement, let's say the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Man, that was some good cadence, wasn't it? Like we were
rocking.
in sync.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that the AI just kind of
Garbles it up a little bit,
dumbs that
doesn't it?
down a little
Yeah,
bit.
it sounded good this morning, though.
The rest of it's great, but it's like anytime we all do something in unison, it's like you hear one person.
Yeah. So clean it up. It tries to clean it up,
Tries
doesn't
to
it?
clean
Yeah.
it, yeah.
Yeah.
Father God, we thank you for the opportunity to go out and do some trucking today. We pray for the safety of our fleet, all of their families, and all the other families and individuals we come across on the road today. We pray for patience and in making a good, safe decisions. We pray to be accident-free and that we'll all make it back to the comfort of our homes this evening. We pray for healing and 100% recovery for all of our family members that are ill. No matter what, we trust you, God, and it's in Jesus' name we pray.
Amen.
Amen.
As a reminder, anything and everything you hear on today's podcast is just our expressed opinion. It is not the official opinion of JFW.
Amen.
My mic sounds very muffled today, which is weird. It's got, I don't know. Everyone else sounds great, so we'll just not keep rolling. Episode 178 had 286 downloads. We are at 93.3 thousand total downloads, and we have 742 followers.
Woo!
That's outstanding.
Pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah.
We picked up like 6 followers this week.
Very
that's
cool.
awesome. That's awesome. I thought you were leading into a dad joke, though, with your mic problems. I thought you were like going to take us down that road.
I decided to stop doing that.
Oh, give him a minute.
I'm gonna be more serious.
I don't buy it.
Well, you guys know I've been pretty open and honest about different addictions that I've had. And right now I'm trying to overcome my hiking addiction. I'm just not out of the woods yet. Do you guys have the koi fish going this year?
They go
Every year?
all year long, Jim.
Okay.
They don't come out, right? They stay in there all year long.
Gotcha. Do you know what you call a fake koi fish?
A fake koi fish. I don't know. A koi toy. I don't know.
A decoy?
A decoy. Oh, that's funny.
You were close.
That's so ironic. You had it. Are you done?
No.
Right. Oh, keep going. Because my joke is a fishing joke.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
My last one is when a cougar gets so old she needs a hearing aid, she becomes deaf.
Oh man, I've seen this one before.
She becomes a deaf leopard.
That's what deaf leopard. Yep.
Love it.
Now I'm done.
I mean the fishing, right? It's fishing season, man. Spring has sprung. They are like slaying some fish, some hogs up at McConaughey. I just saw they did a late post last night. This dude caught a 31-inch walleye yesterday up there with that Spoiled Guide fishing service. I mean, they're trolling the heck out of the dam and just going, they are slaying them. Like, it is like a convoy against the dam of boats. There are so many boats, they're directional. Like, you have to go north when you're against the dam. And if you hook a fish, you have to pull out so the other boats can continue trolling.
Wow.
And then you turn around and you go down the other side to turn around and come back. It's for real shit. But anyway, onward to my joke. Do you guys, I guess I'll kind of segue that a little bit to Colorado, because you guys know, like, we're the marijuana capital. I mean, you go out of Colorado to other states, when marijuana first got legalized here, they're like, oh, you got some on you or anything like that. So do you guys happen to know how fish get high?
With power bait.
Smoking a bowl.
Seaweed.
Seaweed.
That's all I got. One and done. I'm out.
Man. This is kind of weird. Chicken or cougars and fish, because mine's chickens.
We're all animal jokes today?
Chicken in the sea.
What did Mozart resent about chickens?
I don't know, but I resent the same thing.
Something about symphony or something.
They go on about bok, 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 bok.
I love it. That's awesome. That is awesome.
What does a possessed chicken lay?
Deviled eggs.
There you go.
Yep.
Deviled eggs. There you go. And the last one, you guys got to get this one. What does the chicken order at a bar?
Buffalo wings.
Wow. Wild turkey.
Oh, man, you guys. A cocktail.
Pretty good. Super David got a dirty old man joke?
No, but I just Googled out of nowhere. I just Googled sarcastic jokes this morning.
Right up,
and this website popped up that, these jokes were mean. Oh boy, I couldn't even read half of them, but some of them were bad. And I thought this one was worthy. So, I hate it when I go to hug someone that's really sexy and my face smashes right into the mirror.
Oh.
And did you know I am totally great at keeping secrets? It's the people I tell them to that can't. But always remember, you're just as unique as everyone else. And your mind wants to dance, but your body is really an awkward white guy. So good luck.
I relate to that one.
Me too, Jim. Woo,
That's
awesome.
All right. New employees. We got Henry Gock, Justin Herrera, and Dan Dominowski. Welcome to the fleet, man.
Yeah.
Welcome
aboard.
And then in the wash bay, we had two people start. We had James Zohr and Landon Giovannini.
Welcome, you guys.
Welcome to the JFW, guys. Celebrations, anniversaries. We had a couple big ones. Ricky DeLeon hit 5 years on Monday. Happy birthday. Happy anniversary, Ricky.
Happy anniversary, Ricky.
I feel like
Way to go, Ricky.
Yep. Happy anniversary, Ricky.
Sergio Cortez and Randy Alvarez hit 1 year yesterday.
Happy anniversary, guys.
Man,
Great 1 year.
Yeah, Sergio seems like he just got here. Been here in a year.
Right?
Yeah.
It was so funny because I didn't know his last name, and I'll share. I'm like, man, the Sergio guy must be good. I only know Sergio Portillo, and I'm like, if this guy's worked here a year and I don't know his last name, he's got to be good, And everybody's looking at me, and I'm like, who is this guy? And they're like, you talk to him every day, and I'm like, what? Like, Sergio in the shop. I'm like, oh my god, that was his last name. I felt so stupid.
That's my bestie. And then let's see. Also, Randy Alvarez. He's done a great job in the last year. So thanks for being here, Randy. Jack Oquemba Mejia, 6 years yesterday.
Oh,
yeah.
Congratulations,
Easy.
Jack. Yeah, that's
Congrats,
awesome.
guys.
Well, birthdays and family birthday celebrations. We have none available.
Can't believe it.
We got a bunch of prudes working here.
Yeah.
No family.
Right?
You want to give your shout out there, Beatty? It's number one on the list.
Yeah. The wife and I were at Costco on Saturday and ran into Pedro Sotelo, and he introduced me to his wife and daughter, and they were just super nice. We stood there and chit-chatted for a few seconds, and it was just just refreshing to see somebody out of the work scene. It was kind of funny because we were kind of being typical truck drivers. And what I mean by that is we were both pushing the carts and we were kind of hiding out on a corner on opposite corners right next to each other. Like if one of us would have went, we would have pushed our basket into the other basket. You know what I mean? But he was behind a sign and I just totally didn't see him. You know what I mean? And we're closer than we are here at the table. Right. And all of a sudden he popped out and he was like, "Hey, you doing some shopping here today?" And I was like, whoa, what, I was so caught off guard. You know what I mean? So yeah, it was cool to see him and meet his wife. And I don't know if he has more than one daughter or not, but
that's funny. I've ran into Pedro somewhere before.
Yeah.
And I can't remember. I almost want to say it was like Sportsman, not Sportsman Warehouse, Cabela's maybe, or I can't remember. It was years ago.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Interesting that that's.
It was just so funny because we talk about this all the time, right, Jam? You're kind of code, what would that be? Code yellow or whatever?
Oh, yeah.
When you're, and I kind of, I'm looking at people, right? Like I'm looking around. I know who's in there and I'll generally, if I recognize someone, I spot them and I'm like, oh, that's such and such. And man, I was 2 feet from Pedro, never saw him behind that it was like a poster or whatever, advertisement. I don't know, price.
How much was he?
Price sheet, whatever, you know what I mean? And he popped out and I was like, oh, just totally caught off guard. It was
Pedro, you're $4.99.
I'll take 2.
Cool. Gerald's wanted to give a shout out to Enrique Escalante and Gerardo Sanchez for helping me empty the 2 overfilled trash cans at the Death and Fuel Lounge.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, way to go. Yeah, JR sent some pictures too, and they were way over full.
Yes, talk about overflow.
Yeah, they should have been dumped before then. It was nice to have some help.
They get dumped almost every day. Apparently not.
I think of being missed or something. Something in the wash bay happened.
When Rich was here.
Yeah.
Tommy Trujillo, he came up to me the other day to show me his fuel efficiency score. It was up 23.8% out of 99.
Nice. Congratulations,
That's
Tommy.
amazing. That's fantastic. Yeah, everybody is trying so hard. Every time we talk about the stats and I talk to you guys about your groups and different stuff, it's a chunk of people that are doing it right.
Yeah.
We got a lot. JR actually gave me guys telling secrets.
Now you should have some stats from JR that we're going to discuss later.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. Yeah, a couple of those are just amazing, mind-blowing. Yeah, it's good stuff.
Can't wait to sit down with the insurance company.
Yes.
This is amazing, actually.
Yeah. It is. What a difference.
Yep.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was just trying to think of something, you can't lead a horse to water or whatever the saying is, and we've led a lot of horses to the water.
Yeah.
And they're drinking.
They're drinking. That's what I mean.
You lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink.
Yeah, we
drinking.
We changed the outlook.
Yes.
For the better.
Yes.
A lot of positivity.
There's been a shift.
Yep.
Another pleasant person. He's pretty new, but Carlos Beltran. He's pretty engaged and happy to be here, and he's been recognizing other people. And he says, "Hey, Jam, hope all is well. I wanted to give a shout out to Valentino and 0088 on the next podcast. I wanted to let everyone know how great he is as a trainer. His work ethic is above and beyond. He went through all my training in detail. He didn't miss a beat, from driving a truck on the road to jumping at different plants and also getting loaded at the different pits. He went as far as texting me a list of all the different pits and plants to make sure I knew what channel I needed to be on to talk to the right people. So that's something I'd like to give him credit for. He's an amazing driver and even a better friend / brother. Sounds like a bromance to me. Nice job, Valentino. We were just talking about you earlier. Very well earned and deserved shout out there.
Absolutely, man. That's just, that's outstanding when, Dave sits down and he has to pick the people and the trainers and put them together and do all of that. And what a great review, just to throw 2 people together, and it turned out fantastic. So good stuff right there.
Contrary to popular belief, I do put some thought into that.
I know. We were joking about it yesterday.
I want to give a shout out to Super Dave for putting the cheat sheet on the front of the pit list that also has the CV channels. Good job, Sue. Omar Reyes, another great guy. Big shout out to Greg, talking about Greg Wise, the night course guy. Every time, not sometimes, not once, but every time he takes my truck out to get preloaded, he leaves it better than he found it. Also, he communicates very well and answers any questions one might have.
Nice.
Yeah, I'd like to agree with that. Shout out to Greg. You know, he's been here, I don't know, 3 years now, but he
Definitely
has
2.
gone above and beyond to try the different jobs we have, you know.
Yes.
He jumped right into the super dump and became our ace in the super dump. Now he's doing night cores, which is a big job and
a lot of responsibility there.
Very much.
Yeah.
And more now than before, because we had 2 guys before, and now we only have the 1.
Right.
So he can be spread thin sometimes if they're running 4 lines in that. So great job, Greg.
Yeah, I don't know that we've ever really had a shout out like that for night cores.
Yeah.
I think he's doing a great job. Couple fun facts about Greg. Hope you don't mind Greg, but he is on a fitness journey as well. But the fun fact is Greg actually has had a sanctioned MMA fight.
Wow.
Probably didn't
Very
know
cool.
that, did you?
Yeah, no, didn't. What you don't know.
Right.
Now you know. I think
Yeah.
Biggie used to say that.
Yeah. And the job he's doing on night cours, that's not to take anything away from Jason Gamage.
Oh,
Because Jason Gamage rocked that position so flawlessly for the better part of 4 years at least.
yeah. I forgot about Jason. Jason did a great job. I'm just so used to him being on days already. Sorry, Jason. You also did great.
He truly a warrior.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, we've got some superstars.
Yeah, I think what we'd went through, you know, and even the people that worked with Jason and he helped them out and stuff, is we had no problem with Jason, so he becomes forgettable, right?
Yes.
Because it's just he's not on the tip of your tongue.
That's the reason I'm bringing it up, right?
Exactly. But everybody else that we've had on there and worked with, there was a struggle with some people.
Oh,
Yeah,
boy.
I think the problem is that people that were paired up with Jason kind of took all the attention away from what we
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
true. Yep. Yeah.
All right. So here, does anybody else have any shout out?
I do.
I do.
All right.
You go first.
You go.
I'm getting better to remember.
I'm going to be a few minutes. I just want to throw a shout out there to Kyle Galitz. He's out sick, having some problems, and they don't really know what's going on. So I kind of, just want to wish him better. Maybe we should have thrown him in the prayers, but I know our prayers are with him. So Kyle, hopefully if you're listening, you get to feeling better. They figure out what's going on and you get better soon. And then to how does JR say it? To add to that or to copy on that, or he always says something to add to that.
Piggyback?
To piggyback on that. Thank you, Jam. Yeah, that's JR's thing, to piggyback on that. And he just jumped right in and took over for Kyle's team. And none of us really even thought about it. Or I should say, I never thought about it. I don't know about anybody else. It was just, well, hopefully Kyle's team's doing all right. It just never even occurred to me. And there's JR, again, thinking of what needs to be done and just jumping in there and took over, and I don't know where the teams are at and all of that, but I mean, I know he's reached out and covered, any issues or questions or conversations that have happened and helping out Kyle's team. So
I thought just let him sink.
No, you didn't, Jam.
None of us thought that, but none of us thought to think we need to cover it, So I just thought that was awesome that, again, JR thinking outside the box. So thanks, JR. You continue to amaze us and jump in there and cover more and more and more stuff that, we're not even thinking of. And then another one here is Eric has made it pretty well known that she's been trying to get her Class A CDL, and she goes to school here. And I think next week,
the 5th, I think.
Okay. All right.
Seems like it was a 5-5 date for some reason.
Yeah, I agree. I buy that. And anyway, she passed her permit and has her Class A CDL permit. So good job, Erica. I think there were a couple hiccups in there, but you persevered and hung in there.
And I did ask her, Dave, 90 days last night.
Okay.
It's
that's how long the permit's good for.
Yep.
So not that long, really.
Not really.
Yeah.
And they do send her a temporary permanent plastic license.
Really?
Instead of the paper, because that's still your Class C
Okay.
And you have to use it to like fly and travel. So it's a hard copy, or plastic. And then, when you get your CDL, right, or your pass, then you get another plastic one.
Yeah.
They did explain that.
So she has a CDL B and C right now, right?
A. She passed her A. So she's
Permit.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Yep.
And she'll be going to school next week.
Yeah. And for everybody, and everybody is, or the younger guys have taken it, or younger drivers have taken it, because she teased me, I want you and Uncle Dave to take it. And I'm like, I don't want to take it. I probably can't pass it, right? It's been so many years. But she had her Class B for a couple weeks and struggled with the combination part of the test, and I know one of them questions, Dave, and I don't know if she talked to you or talked to Casey, but one of them was an alcohol dryer was one of the questions. And Casey was like, I don't think they've used an alcohol dryer on anything or added alcohol.
That's what I mean. Some of the stuff is so outdated.
Old.
Yeah.
And so interesting, just questions is all.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have it on there, but isn't Sam going to school?
He is. Yeah.
Are they doing it together?
No, they're 2 weeks apart.
Oh,
isn't that ironic?
So cool.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he's I think he's here for 30 days, Jim, and I booked him for 3 weeks of the 30 days because the first week he needs to study and take that online class and study the book, and he's got to get his permit like Eric has got. And then after that, he's got 2 weeks of CDL class, CDL school. So yeah. So kind of interesting. He's pretty fired up about it.
That's good.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's not, I mean, it was something we talked about, and he's like, yeah, how do I do that? I'd love to do that.
That's cool.
So, yeah.
And they're going to 303, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Truck driving school.
Yeah. No one better than CDL 3 or 303 CDL school, right?
Yep.
Those are the guys we had on the podcast.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out for them too.
Use them if you know anybody that's looking to get a CDL. They're the shit because they add in the mountain training.
Right.
Yeah, the mountain training, and then their course is a little bit shorter. It's designed a little bit different, so it doesn't take as long.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Gotcha.
And the mountain course, I mean, you're here in Colorado, give a mountain course.
Yeah.
Right?
So I got a question for you. Are Erica and Jam going to test out in a manual transmission or
Sure, I'll
automatic
test it in
transmission?
I don't know about Jam. Sam is.
Did I say Jam?
You did
Sorry,
say Jam.
Sam.
Yeah. I know Erica's been moving TNT, and just in conversation, I haven't seen her do it or anything like that. I'm like, Erica, just the big thing about a diesel or that is you can't kill it. You don't need to give it fuel. You don't need to do anything else. Just let out the clutch as long as you're in first or second gear. I said, they don't die. It's not, and me trying to teach people to drive for so many years is everybody wanted to give a diesel fuel, and slip
the clutch.
Yeah, slip the clutch. And it just, you don't have to do that. Yeah.
Some people give it gas.
A lot of it.
Bash the gas and slap the dash.
Yeah.
And then my last shout out here is to John Moore. Sounds like
you took mine, Dave.
No,
God, no.
If
it was with I knew if I was waiting to see if somebody had it on their list. So do it, Dave.
Yeah, no, this week is the end of 6 weeks from his first knee surgery, and his PT's going well, and sounds like Friday he gets the second knee done.
Second one, yeah.
So
I understood too.
Way to be tough, John, and man, you're getting through it.
Hopefully that one goes just as smooth as this
right?
one.
Right,
yeah.
right.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's had any complications, any issues, hiccups. And I think there was some setback, but it was like minor.
I think he kind of hurt his back.
Oh,
what
that's
it was.
right. That's
and
right.
it slowed up his PT. Had nothing to do with his knees.
But it was like one day.
Yeah, a little bit of setback.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was enjoyed, I know we checked on John, but John's kind of given us an update, and just him being involved, letting us know. I've sure enjoyed that. And I know that's work on his part, but it sure helps us out and, thinking of him.
The
So, engaged.
Yeah.
Absolutely engaged.
Yep.
I wonder if Nurse Laurel had something to do with his recovery, making sure he did all his prehab and rehab.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's the first person that ever said anything about prehab.
Yep. Dave,
Yes.
Yeah.
Randy never did. Rich never did.
No, I think
Rich could have benefited from it.
Yeah.
My mom tried to send me to
Pre-pre, I think.
Prehab.
Yeah.
They should have prehab for kids. That would be good. Listen, this was going to be like if you don't. Just so you know.
I think that's scared straight. Yeah, I don't think.
Right. Yeah. Yep.
Oh, man, that's funny.
For sure.
Funny. I don't know if we've mentioned it before, But I think we mentioned that he was back working here, but to Marty. Wanted to give a big shout out to him. Because, and I always forget, is he 78?
78.
78 years old.
I asked him the other day.
And I know he got bored at home and wanted to do some other stuff. And we just really don't have an opening for him to drive, but he's coming in here a couple days a week and helping Scooby out. And he's making JFW better.
Yes.
That's the thing, to be world class, you have to take care of all the little details. And he's back there taking care of the little details, helping Scooby out. And it's just a pleasure to see him and still have him around. So thanks, Marty. I appreciate that.
I'm really glad you brought that up because that was my other shout out was to Scooby and to Marty.
Oh yeah.
We crushed a culvert last week on a delivery up in Fairplay, out of the Fairplay pit. Fairplay, Brandon has been picking up a lot of deliveries out of there, and it's just kind of a growing pit as such, not just for Brandon's own use. And we did a delivery up there, and it was a he said, she said. You know what I mean? I don't know who was at fault, but anyway, a culvert got crushed that we were trying to back over. And Scooby and Marty went up there yesterday, and they repaired the culvert, right? We had them jack the dent out. Jim, you and I have done it before and fixed many culverts and made those repairs. And it was kind of funny because, Brandon was asking the particular person we were dealing with. She was like, well, the customer, it was a blame game, right? Like he wasn't there. I told the driver, it was just a not good situation. And I finally just sent an email like, listen, we're going to go up there. We're going to offer to fix it. We're going to do our best to fix it. If that's not good enough, we're going to move on.
Yeah.
And we did. And the customer was thrilled. I mean, it's my understanding from Scooby, the customer was absolutely thrilled. Called Brandon. Thank you so much for taking care of this, and that was Marty and Scooby. You know what I mean? Marty's 78 years old with Scooby, 77 years old and goes up there and shows, I'm sorry, 57 years old. Sorry, Scoob. I just got to tease you a little bit, man. And they went up there and fixed it, right?
144 years between them or something like that.
It's funny because I'm sitting here and I'm like, how'd Scooby get an assistant? You want an assistant? And then I was like, oh, wait, that's his supervisor.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then they're going up today because we had really weird thing we got to get to the bottom of. I just don't understand what happened. I'm not 2 and 2 or 5 on this one. They're not adding up. And anyway, we had a gate pop open when we crossed the cattle guard leaving pit 21 and pop open, and they just took all the rock and pushed it against the guardrail. And Scooby and Marty are going up there and having to clean that up today. Mm-hmm. And I guess that's something we should kind of bring up. I know we're still in shout. Is it in there?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Good. I'll leave that alone.
Well, at least I thought it was, unless I misread it.
Touch on it later. Okay.
I mean, it is along with because talking about the culvert, Dave, and what we need to do about when a customer's not on site. And, I don't, like you said, I don't think we really did anything wrong, but we shouldn't have attempted it. You're trying
deal there,
right? You're
Jim?
trying to make the customer happy, but then at some point you got to go, nope. And that's hard.
It is hard because you're
trying to please.
Yeah. You're dicking up and going, hey, you're not here. I'm not going back in there.
Yeah.
When Jim, you or I would do it.
Yeah.
We
no, it was.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. That tough.
There's nothing.
Tough calls. So, yeah. For sure. All right.
Yeah. And it wasn't, just so everybody understands, the end of it didn't get crushed. We didn't turn the trailer across it. We didn't cut short, nothing else.
Right.
We dented it because it didn't have enough material over the top of it.
Yeah. Like 3 feet in from the end.
Yeah.
It collapsed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be careful going across that culvert. 10-4, we got it.
And that's the other thing with any culvert, because if it's not installed correctly and compacted on the sides, they all crush. Right. That's what gives it the strength, is the material around the culvert.
Right.
Yeah.
Some engineering.
Needs some flow fill.
Yep.
I got one more shout out for Eric Eichner. Eric Eichner was injured. He was mentioned in one of the knowledge challenges as the shredding machine. But Eric, man, he is, as he's shredding, he's doing his finger exercises and trying to get the swelling out and, doing PT and exercises. And yeah, he wasn't supposed to go back until next week, but he kept pushing to get released. He wants back in the truck.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, because the surgeon cleared him, but comp wouldn't.
Yeah, comp's like, you don't have enough hand strength, grip strength to get in and out of the truck safely, which Valid point. We push a 3-point count.
Yeah.
3
Yeah.
points of contact.
Yeah.
They got to be good points. You can't like be hooking them with your wrist. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah. And
Well, go ahead.
yeah, no, I was just going to say, I bugged him. I was like, hey, I heard you got released. And I sure did. I said, well, you got to make me a promise. And he's like, what's that? And I'm like, I don't want to ever see you in here again. ever, Eric. And he was like, yeah. So, yeah, good.
he's got a good sense of humor.
He does.
He ended up getting a rod. He's got hardware in his foot.
Yeah.
He broke it. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
sure.
said it might not ever bend again.
Totally. Yeah. That the one Dad broke David doesn't close well at all. Yeah.
But he is officially released and he's out driving today.
Yeah. That's good. That's good.
Way to persevere.
Yeah.
Right.
And you want to, we've seen a lot of different people in there shredding. Eric's the man.
He is.
Yeah.
He puts his nose to that grinder wheel and it's a
Right.
Yeah.
I've told Super Dave when it stops, it's peaceful.
Yeah.
but also cleans up and vacuums after each time. And like,
Yeah.
he's
a rock star.
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
JFW.
Yeah. Class.
Yeah.
Class. Yeah.
Yeah.
World class.
So
Yeah.
did you have any suits?
He's being the best
He
can be at that.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Like just what we talked about earlier today. It doesn't matter if he's shredding or if he's driving, he's doing his best.
Or if he's getting hurt. He does that,
he's doing his best, right? Yeah.
he does that really
see
good.
that coming.
Yeah. Sorry, Eric. All good fun.
Yeah.
Hey, I just one more shout out, and I know Dave mentioned her, and I'm being selfish because I have a platform here and it's a little public, but for all you dads, and it's a little different because I also work with Erica and I work with Uncle Dave, and me and Uncle Dave have had our issues through the years and stuff, but yeah, right. There's been a few yelling matches, probably more on my part than Brother Dave's part.
I've seen some throwing tools matches.
But I have to say, I'm going to give Erica a personal apology. We got into it yesterday, more of a family thing than really a business thing. And as a father, I lost my temper and I said some things that I probably shouldn't say. And, I hopefully that there's nothing better than a public apology. And I hope everybody kind of, if they've, whether it's with your wife, your kids, or your brother, or, sister, or whatever, that, take the moment to think about if you've had, a conflict, that you just, practice some grace and, say, I'm sorry. It ends things. So Erica, I'm sorry. It's my fault and I didn't handle it well. I apologize. So
I think we've all been there.
Yeah.
Honestly,
I think,
Jim, that is so noble because everybody has those moments. Emotion takes control, but some people are completely adverse to apologizing. They think it's a hit on their image or
Like it's a weakness.
A weakness. Yes,
Yeah.
Dave, thank you. And it's not. If anything, it's a strength. It really is.
the strength I'm finding, Dave, is because I was really an ass. So but thank you. I agree with that. I think there's
emotions are powerful.
Yeah. But I think there's just a point where, and I do believe that comes with age where we all, life's getting shorter,
Humility.
and there's that thing. And we talk about it here. I hope farther in the podcast here, we talk a little bit about it, because I think that's something we practice here at JFW is grace, and that makes us better also.
Sure.
So
Dave, I want to apologize to you.
Apology accepted.
Thanks. Moving on.
I got nothing.
Apology accepted. We know you.
The OCB would have been, F you, driver.
So I do want to apologize if I don't mention your name here. So I'm going to name some drivers here that we know are out there doing it right. Just because your name isn't on here doesn't mean that we think you're doing it wrong. You're probably doing it right. We probably have other reasons to know you're doing it right. But these people here just in the last couple of weeks have come out doing it right. And we mean doing it right, driving, dumping, pulling on a scale, not being distracted by their
You
phone,
bet.
Not
Using
being
their
what?
back window while dumping.
distracted by their phone. Yep, just doing the job right. Number one, and I heard you guys talking in the office, where did these names come from? And some of them are given by other people and some of them are given by me. So, number one, Todd Scuba Dull. Number two, Mike Flat Tire Cisneros.
Mike, I know where that one came from.
I do too.
But I haven't seen that for a while, so good job.
Dustin, I think it's either Shine or Shiner, but JR reminded me it's also C Cup. So Dustin C Cup Courier.
I don't know where that one came from.
I didn't.
It came from Veronica. I think.
Veronica, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
All right.
Gerardo Hera Sanchez. Matt Stay Loaded Cummins.
Let's hope that's talking about trucking.
Yep. Dustin Gordo Jr., Andrew No Nonsense Nonis, and Daniel Double D Sanchez. And he's a new driver around here, so to get on this list quick is good.
That is awesome.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Daniel, we had a double D work here before, and it was because he'd taken out, was it 2 drive shafts, Dave?
Right? And that was his initials as well.
Well, it was.
Yeah, double D.
so great job, guys. It's nice to just know that you're out there doing it the right way.
Yes, thank you guys.
Outstanding.
And like Jim said, I know there's a lot more of people or drivers doing that, but this is who made the list just today.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully we can discuss this just a little bit, but they're the ones stopping at the stop signs before they pull on the scale.
Mm-hmm.
They're the ones with zero phone use. They're the ones looking out the back window when they dump, like Dave said. They're the ones, they're just doing everything right.
Not following too close.
Not speeding. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, world class.
Yeah, talking on the
it's-
CV while they're pulling on the scale.
Yep,
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're doing it better, making us the best.
Yes. They're being the best they can be.
Yep.
Top notch.
Yes.
Yep.
Absolutely. So,
Yeah. And you make that stuff, you do that stuff, pretty soon it's a habit.
yes.
It's the way the way they do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they're breaking their backs to do it the right way.
No, Jam. I think
Right.
I think it's easy for them.
that's
Yes.
what makes it cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into the discussion. This has come up a few times, especially with some of the newer drivers. On your pay stubs, when you're looking at your pay stub in Paycom, you'll see a plus or minus number. Those numbers on your check are comparing your current check to the last check. For example, the way that it's really coming up is they'll see on your safety bonus this big plus number, and then, the next one,
check is a minus.
minus 200. Did I lose $200? No, you just didn't get the same amount in safety, or
It's the difference.
it's a difference.
Yeah.
Or, on your gross, it might say plus $350. Well, what's that? Well, it's just $350 more from the last check.
Interesting.
Okay, this came up. Your dump valve, that's a lever on your dash that makes your trailer go up and down. It should be manual to go up. And what I mean by it should be manual to go up, that means you have to hold it up to get your trailer going there. When you take your hand off, it stops going up. You got it spring loaded, and
And it goes back to the neutral
it goes
position.
back to the neutral position. That is a safety feature, so your trailer is not just going up on its own. Okay, going down, you put it in a down position, and it just gravity feeds the whole way down, and that lever doesn't spring load back up into the.
It should stay in the down
It should
position.
stay in the down position. So a few things. Number one is if you put your trailer valve up and it just stays there and sticks, there's something wrong with the valve. It probably needs to be replaced. It's not cool. It's a problem.
And it might be cool because it quit doing that, and you don't have to hold your hand on it when you're dumping. That is not cool. And
Right.
the big part about that is because we hit a bridge, the Alameda Bridge. We owned it for a year until somebody else hit it, and that's because the PTO stuck on, and the dump valve was in the raised position, and we raised it up and hit the bridge.
Yep.
Totaled the trailer.
It's also not cool because we don't know how many hoses we've blown out.
Yep.
Hydraulic hoses.
Yeah,
because
locked them
once
and
the
blown them
hoist
out.
is as far up as it can go, that pump is still continuing to pressurize and try and dump the load because it's got plenty of oil to do that. So we've burned out We've blown out hydraulic lines. We've also burned out hydraulic pumps, because if you hop out of the truck after you've dumped and you've left it in the raised position because it sticks there, and you're looking at how much material could be stuck or what your liner looks like or any material in the trailer, and it's stuck, and we've burned up a fuel pump before, or I'm sorry, a hydraulic pump before. So yeah, there's always a reason.
Always a reason,
Yes.
and some damn good reasons.
Yes. Damn expensive reasons.
Yeah, I got a question. Do we still have any trucks that were the mechanics installed the valve upside down, so they have to push it down for the trailer to go up? Do we have any of those left?
I hope not, Dave, but we sure could.
Do we have them write it up if they're
Absolutely.
Yes.
dumb valves like that?
That just goes against nature.
It does.
It's
always
just an
fun.
unnatural
Up should
movement.
be
big
up
time.
and down, right?
Yeah.
Right.
That's just it should be illegal.
Now,
That's when I turn left, I want to go right. And when I turn right, I want to go left.
Right?
No, left.
now, if it's installed upside down, the spring load will still work. So you just have to hold it down for it to go up. But if you let go, it goes back.
Yes. The spring part of it, but the spring part of it is backwards. Like these two are saying, the nature of it, it's going to spring down,
Right?
which is
Yeah.
up.
And the thing is, you guys, we may have had a transmission repaired at Kenworth and they took the two lines off underneath.
And just
The
switch
The
them.
valve is normal, but the plumbing is backwards. And it is literally like as fast as you can slide under there. They're all on quick connects and you swap the two lines.
So if that happens,
Then
you have to hold it to make the trailer
No.
go down.
Yes.
Would it stay?
Correct.
yes,
Correct.
yes,
Yeah.
it reverses
It will
that.
stay in the
outside.
The lever direction would be correct. No, the lever
No, it's
direction would
wrong.
be backwards.
It's wrong. Yeah.
But
So
I'm-
I'm actually wrong when I said that, Jim. You could just swap the lines, and it's wrong. It's wrong. Down has to be spring loaded at that point.
But then the other case that we started to discuss is the valve could be in backwards.
Yes.
You want the spring loaded to the top. You want to have to hold it in the raised
Yes.
position.
Well, yeah.
So-
So there's no confusion. The spring loaded shoves it back down, which is down. Spring loaded, you have to hold against the spring to get it to go up.
If it doesn't work like this, write it up. You want your trailer to go in there, push your lever up, and make sure you have to keep your hand on it
Yep.
for the trailer to go up.
10-4.
Right.
That was clear as mud.
To get your load off, you have to keep your hand on it.
In the up position.
All right. We're just barely scratched the surface here, so this is going to be interesting.
This is going to be a long one.
All right.
Buckle
Now,
up.
Jared wants to say, while slips heating or coming back from time off, please report issues with the truck and trailer. For example, mud flaps ripped or falling off, dirty cab, missing items, etc. A text with pictures to someone in leadership helps, so we can find out the driver who left the truck in that condition, so we can hold that person accountable. Whoop, whoop.
Totally agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
Please make sure it's worth our time, though, too. We have had some pictures come across, and it's like a McDonald's bag from yesterday that's just sitting there. Like,
Yeah.
you can
It's
just-
forgot. It was forgotten.
Yes.
Jumped out.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Not a big deal.
The biggest one was I left my hard hat on the seat and now it's on the floor.
Yeah, they threw it on the floor.
Do you remember who that was?
30 people? I left my phone charger in there and they just threw it on the floor. I doubt they threw it on the floor.
They stole my phone charger.
Boy, how many of those have we had?
4 hours later, I found it on the
Yeah.
dashboard.
Did you look everywhere for it? I looked everywhere. Yeah. Oh, I found it. It was on the seat.
Or it was actually in the glove box.
Yeah.
Or the side
Yeah. Yep.
door panel.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. From Linda. And this goes back to the not fair play, but Hartzell culvert. Review driving over sidewalks and culverts. The driver has authority to refuse going over them, so we do not cause damage. You are the captain of your ship. Call dispatch and let them know too. So yeah, absolutely. If a customer asks you to do something that could cause damage, you can say, I'm not going to do that. When I was a ready mix driver for AI, anytime we backed over a curb, the customer would have to sign that they're taking responsibility
Yep.
for that curb.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah, and you can do the same thing. All the drivers really should have an hourly book with them.
Mhm.
Just fill out the hourly book. backing over the curb, you take responsibility.
Yep.
Man,
Backing over the culvert,
same
response.
Yep.
I mean, it's kind of funny, Jim. The tickets have changed so much because they're just like that cardboard pop-out piece.
Yeah.
The old carbon copy tickets used to have that.
Yeah.
They did.
When
Yeah.
that customer signed for that ticket, they were signing and accepting the delivery
Mm-hmm.
issues if there were any. I mean, it was right there in the fine print. You had to show it to them, but
Mm-hmm.
just a different world today.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah. 90% in a plant.
Yeah.
The difference.
Yeah.
So,
If you are talking to the customer and you guys can't agree on who's going to be responsible for doing that, don't get into an argument. Just give dispatch a call. They're really good at talking to the customer.
They are really good.
And they'll take it from there.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
All right. The do's and the don't do's of dumping next to each other and plant courtesies. It's come up a few times where drivers don't understand actually what is safe and what's not safe and what is courteous and discourteous. And it happens at plant 12 a lot because at plant 12, you can have somebody dumping sand and you could get set up to dump your rock, or, you know, you could potentially back into a bin that's far enough away from that other truck. You know, some drivers just hear like, hey, if I'm over here dumping, don't come around, don't do anything, right? It's all about communication and courtesy. So, Super Dave, if you were dumping sand at plant 12 and I saw you were just backing up to the pile or barely starting to lift your trailer, and I came around that rock stockpile to get set up to dump rock, especially if I'm dumping it in the stockpile, there is absolutely nothing wrong with that, right?
Agreed.
We can both dump at the same time. Nobody's in harm's way. I'm not trying to cut you off. We're actually being efficient. The other thing is if your trailer's in the air and you're empty, the hazard is pretty much over from you tipping over. So if you're letting your trailer down and the same thing, I come around to go get set up, coming past an empty trailer,
Agreed.
it's not the end of the world, guys
No.
and girls. It's actually okay. That makes sense and it's efficient. Now, if your trailer is coming down and I drive in front of you while your trailer is coming down and your tractor is moving forward, that's not good because now you got to brake. And we have mixers do that to us a lot. We call it the turtle move or the mixer move. That'll piss somebody off. I don't recommend doing that. Okay. The other thing is you can't dump one bin away from each other. You can't be in the sand and then we skip the sand bin. Then there's a rock bin and I'm in that next rock bin where we're not far enough away from each other where if my trailer or your trailer fell over, somebody could get hurt, right? So I would say, the trails are 35 or 38 feet. I would say if you're not 45 or 50 feet away from the other truck, don't dump next to each other, okay?
I mean, we've seen it happen here locally. We've seen it. I mean, we had that one photo from my brother-in-law worked at one of the copper mines in Arizona, and they had these two big bins. It was kind of it was a copper mine. And they were just bringing raw materials in all day long, 24/7. Like those bins, they were hogs, man, as fast as you could dump. So those trucks were dumping next to each other. I don't know what the failure was, but they were dumping next to each other and one trailer laid right over on top of the cab of the other. And it was not pretty. And then here locally, it's been years ago. And I mean, many people here probably don't even know who Tom Bechtel Trucking is. They used to have all the green trucks, Pete's and Kenworth's. He probably had 25 or 30 trucks at one point. And I forget who laid over on top of who, but a Calabrese truck laid over on top of a Bechtel or a Bechtel laid over on top of a Calabrese. And luckily, nobody was injured. It was more trailer to trailer. Mm. And then they were pulling each other's trailers at one point. So we were calling them Becca Breezy. And the point is, it's a hazard.
Yeah.
People can die, right? I mean, I know I'm making light of it, but people could die. Those cabs have zero protection. That's a piece of aluminum over your head. That's it. It's nothing more than a pop can to keep water off you. So.
Yeah, at the end, also, I mean, it's good to be efficient, but don't get in a rush. If you got to wait a minute, just to be polite and, be more courteous, that's okay too.
But like you mentioned, Jam, it's about the communication. That's your brother or sister there dumping, hop right on the radio. Hey, I see you're empty and trailers coming down. I'm going to start running mine up.
Yep.
or I'm going to back by. I mean, it's the communication and efficiency.
I'm coming in front of you. That okay?
Yeah.
Or anything like that. That's all you have to mention.
Yeah. If the trailer's all the way in the air, you don't want to drive right in front of them. If the trailer's 3 stages down,
probably
you can practically drive right in front of them. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah. So big difference there.
The other thing I want to mention is we have leasees running out of these pits as well, and plants, I should say. And if you see one of them doing something not the JFW way, you're actually allowed to go talk to them and have a conversation. Like, hey, I don't know if you know, but we don't dump next to each other. And this is why it's really dangerous and we don't want anybody to die, And if they don't want to cooperate or they give you any shit back, just let dispatch know. Dispatch, they definitely respect dispatch because that's who keeps them working, and they may not be aware. They don't have the training program that we have. They haven't seen the things that we've seen. They don't have a safety team guiding them. So feel free to talk to them. I mean, those guys, they like JFW, we're their bread and butter. That's how they get fed. So talk to them. Spread our culture to them.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. I think this was from Casey. He was talking about backing and dumping with the windows down and not up. Safety concern can't hear. Safety concern. You can't hear what is going on around you while completing the task. Also, make sure all air, electric, and hydraulic lines are not on the catwalk, as this causes unnecessary wear and abrasions. This is also a writable offense for DOT and an easy reason to pull you over for an inspection. Backing up to the back end, dumping with your windows down, especially trainers, if you're outside of the truck guiding your trainee or spotting him and he has his windows up, just stop him, have him roll his windows down so he can hear you. It doesn't make sense if you're training and the windows are up. So
yeah. It's a good habit to get. It's a great habit. Got to do it.
We talk about that all the time.
It's going to save a problem. Yeah,
absolutely. You can hear what's happening on that truck. You know what's going on. You have vision. You have audible, issues you can deal with or hear or know what's going on. We talk about it pulling in and out of the shop. Roll down your windows.
We do it in our spots right here, not because we really need to,
right?
Yeah,
but it's a habit. It's like we're gonna roll our windows down and back up.
Yep.
Some of us. Okay, me like twice a week.
I have to see the fence. I don't want to hit the fence.
There you go. Right.
Yeah.
And if you do hit it, you want to hear that you hit it. What was that?
Oh, that's nothing.
Right.
Just keep going.
Oh, shit.
When in doubt, gas it out.
From Dale Boyce up at Arcosa. Morning, Jam. Please remind the drivers that Arcosa is a pit. Just like all the others, we cannot be out of our trucks while getting loaded, and they have to have their PPE on at all times outside the truck. We had a loader up here honking at one of the drivers that was out of his truck with no PPE on. I have also told them. Thank you, Dale. I'm saying PPE, not PP, just for the record. So that's your personal protective equipment. Your hard hat and your safety vest has to be on a roller coaster.
Yeah, thanks, Dale. That was a good note. And again, that's just back to being world class. You're in a pit. You're on our job site. The whole morning there is in the dark. Somebody might not see you. All that kind of stuff. It's what needs to be done to be better.
And I think it's easy to lose track of that up there because it is like our own job site.
Yeah, nobody around
up
as
there.
such.
It's us in the loader. It's our loader. You know what I mean? I can see totally. Losing that?
You're right, Dave. But when's the best time to do things right?
Every time, all the time.
When nobody's looking.
Yeah. I do have a question on it. This could be a podcast question or not, but do we still have the blue room up there?
Hmm?
Is it usable? Because I totally forgot about it. I just heard about it like 2 weeks ago.
That it was. I haven't, because we're paying for it. It's being cleaned, everything.
I know. I guess that's my question. I had just heard that it's blown over and
left,
gone, or just left like that, or I don't know. We may need to ask some questions.
I would have thought Dale would have said something. I mean, he's up there all day long, so
he would have to use it.
What? So unless he's using it sideways or something.
There's a talent to that.
Open up the door. Also, keep in mind, Arcosa is a mine, and it's under MSHA.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So if MSHA comes around and you don't have your stuff on,
Mm-hmm.
that's some big trouble right there.
Deep doo-doo.
Yep.
Yeah. I was going to mention that too about the leasers. A lot of times they don't use their PPE. So friendly reminder, if you see one of them getting out without a hard hat or safety vest, give them a heads up.
Yeah.
You know,
And if you do it polite and you don't get a polite answer back, we can, let dispatch know.
Yes.
We can do something about it. That's part of our culture also.
But keep in mind, you guys, and we're going to talk about this in a few minutes, they have no one helping them
No
be
one.
better.
No.
Everyone here, and like I say, we're going to talk about it, but every single person here has someone helping them be better. What I mean by that is these reminders, everything we've talked about for the last hour, about having the windows down when you pull in and out of somewhere, or when you back in, or not dumping next to someone, or, all of the courtesies and things that we've spoke about, they don't have anyone. An owner operator, he's it. He's his safety team. He's his permit guy. He's his accounts payable. He's his payroll. He's got no one. He's got him. And some of these guys with just 1 or 2 or 3 trucks, they're still that same person. They're the one doing everything from the seat of that cab of that truck. So, if we can help someone be better, because we're after changing this industry and changing what people think of us.
And we got some good leases too. Some at Juan?
Mm-hmm.
He does a great job.
Yes.
Yep. He knows what's up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
J&J.
So,
Yep.
So
that guy Michael's worked for us for a long time too. I saw him in the office just the other day, and I was like, "Hey,
Cut Michael.
Yep.
Absolutely. Somebody want to take this next one? Leaving a scale of pitch 23?
Well, I saw a video on it.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys, I'm driving to work this morning, right? And I'm going down 270. Well, it starts before that. My kind of routine starts, or not routine, a habit, maybe it's a habit. I'm not sure. I come down I-25, and it doesn't matter what lane I'm in or what speed. I don't really have anything I really think about on I-25 when I'm driving. But the minute I turn on that left blinker and I get ready to catch the 270 turnpike exit, for 270, 76, there's a bad spot in the slow lane when you make that exit. And it's directly across from the car dealership and the cart place, and it's a horrible hole, and it's just in the slow lane. So you have to push off to the dotted line, to the zipper, to avoid it, or you hit it, right? And then you start around that curve and you get almost out of the curve just before you would have to change lanes to the right. Again, in the slow lane, the transition from the bridge to the highway, horrible transition. So I go like 45 miles an hour through there, or 40. It's just, you go through there at 60 in my pickup, you're going to die. You're going to crash, right? Or bounce your head off the ceiling. And then you kind of slow down for the, I call them the speed bumps on 270, right? And then when you approach the bridges, I still, even after they've top decked them, I still scoot over because there's some potholes. So I'm riding the shoulder of the road over the bridges. And then when I get off at the Vasquez exit there, I totally hug the guardrail. Like I'm 12 inches off the guardrail to avoid the holes in the center of the exit, right? And here's my point. Where there's rough spots at on our highways. We drive them every single day. We know that cattle guard is one hell of a bump coming out of pit 21, right? Do we want to hit that at 30 or 10 miles an hour? Well, we're asking you to save on the trucks. We're asking you to be better, just like we're going to start talking about being better and how we're helping to train you to be better. And if you were to ever leave here, you're leaving here a better driver because we've helped you be better. So we're asking you on that cattle guard up there at pit 21, don't cross it at 20 or 30 miles an hour. Please cross it at 5, 10 miles an hour and then accelerate. It's there. It's going to be hard on the truck. It's a beat down. So drive accordingly.
Plus to hit that cattle guard at 20 miles an hour, you're speeding through the pit.
Yes.
You're still in the pit.
Yes.
Let's try to do 5 miles an hour until we get across the cattle guard.
Agreed.
That would be my recommendation.
Agreed. Yeah, Jim. In addition to being one hell of a bump.
Right.
Right? Yeah. Yeah, you launch when you go across that thing.
Yeah. The reason this came up is because they complained about it.
They did. Yeah, the pit called us and was like, hey.
You got somebody like getting ready to go to NASCAR.
Yeah, they're hauling the mail to go 30 miles an hour on the road out front.
Right.
Yeah, and the video, I mean, talk about bouncing around in the cab, and you don't think that hurts the truck? That's the illusion that really just baffles me.
Yes.
You know, you can't stay in your seat and you don't think it's hurting the truck?
Right.
Yeah. Not good.
Yeah, so we want to help you be better and slow down and be better and take care of that equipment and be all you can be in that seat of that truck.
Mm-hmm.
Enough about that. Let's go over some Samsara stats JR was kind enough to put together.
I can't wait to talk about them or hear them, Jam. And I know them, right? I heard them last night. I was like,
I know he did send something else for speeding. Let me just pull that up.
Yeah, it was down too. Yeah.
Connect.
Yeah.
Oh, we should all have it, be able to help you out, Jam. It's a good thing we're parked and pulled over because we're all on our phones. I haven't even looked.
Podcast, I got it. All right. So let's talk about the improvements we made from 2024, the last trimester, September 1st to December 31st to January 1st to April 30th, 2025 first trimester.
Mm-hmm.
So we're comparing 2 quarters, well, not 2 quarters.
2 4-month periods.
Yeah.
Yep. So 2024, the last trimester, we had an overall safety score of 91. And this first trimester, we're finishing at an overall safety score of a 96.
Wow.
Yeah. Last trimester of 2024, we had 84 harsh braking attempts. 84 in 4 months. First trimester of 2025, we had 18, which was an 80% improvement with the implementation of the new driver safety and efficiency metrics. So pretty badass.
80% improvement.
I mean, is that just freaking amazing or what? And I happen to know it's 80.6% improvement.
See what you
and
can
I'm
do
going
when
to
you
take.
try?
I want everything out of that we can get. That 0.6 matters. You know what I mean? It blows my mind.
It's crazy.
It just really blows my mind. I mean, that should be information for all of you to sit back and go, oh my God, we are all safer.
Yeah.
We as a JFW company we're 80% safer.
80%.
You know what I mean?
80%.
Yeah. That's mind boggling when we've lowered our harsh brake events that much. And that tells you how much further down the road we're focusing on. That tells you how much our slower speeds are affecting that, right? Because we're not driving as fast, so we're not pushing as hard, so we're not running up on that vehicle in front of us, following too close. You know, before the camera just used to yell at you, and now the camera is not yelling at you because you're not following close because you're not speeding.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it is just win, 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 win. I mean, we have a meeting with our insurance, a safety audit, as so to speak. It's with the safety guy. And what is it, Jim? Next week? I don't even remember the date.
May something.
Yeah.
That's a statistic to show them.
Right,
Yeah.
Dave?
Oh boy.
Yeah. And they were just out in January and we renew here at the end of June, and we can't wait to share it with him. I mean, because he took all the notes from when he was here in January. And I mean, here's the data. Here's the data, man.
Got the data.
Yes. And it just, golly, it makes us, the leadership team here, so proud of this program. And I know we've had some pushback on the program. We've had some pushback that, oh, you know, this is just something else. This is corporate. This is this. This is that. God dang, you guys, use your heads and listen to what we're talking about as we sit here and speak of the leases that we have, that no one's helping them. They have no coach. They have no mentor. They have no leader. They have no one but themselves. And everyone here, you have someone. You have a shop looking out for you. You have a safety team leader helping you. You have your teammates helping you. You have us helping you. You have the leadership here helping you. You You have everyone. This isn't cheap talk. We're walking the walk, and you guys you're in the race. You guys are leading this race, and it is so just amazing to see. I mean, when you really sit back and look at that statistic, and you didn't bring up Jam. I don't think JR obviously put it in there. So we're 80% better, and this number didn't go into account. The 4 months last year was 1.6 million miles. The 4 months this year, I believe, is 2 million.
Yeah.
It was 400,000 more miles. Basically.
Oh, I did it. I just did it for the quarter, Dave. You're right. It was because the quarter was 1.8 and we went 4 months.
Yes.
So it's 2 million miles.
Yes. So we're not only that much more safer, right? We've increased our.
Yeah. We almost did 500,000 miles more and still dropped it by 80%.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. We weren't comparing apples to apples in regards to exposure.
Yes.
But we're still even better.
Even better, not comparing apples to apples. I mean, it's like we're comparing apples to pumpkins.
Realistically, there was a good chance it would go up.
Yes. Right.
400,000 miles.
Right. In our old program, it would have.
Yeah.
That's just how it was because there was no challenge.
Yep.
It's
right. Where's the challenge to be better?
It's super nice for us too, because we try a lot of things here. We try to get people engaged. We try different programs. We add this. Some things take, traction, some don't. And to put so much effort into something and see it work, it's pretty rewarding. So
it is. I mean, those numbers, they're staggering.
Do you want some more numbers?
I do. I'm like, geek us out, Jim.
Speeding in the fleet overall has improved this trimester by 30%. Light speeding improved by 26%. Moderate speeding improved by 45%. Heavy speeding improved by 60%. And severe speeding improved by 50%.
Wow.
Could you imagine those numbers? Could you imagine getting that pay increase in your paycheck? 25, 30, 40, 50% more money? Look at what those numbers mean if it was just pay. And we're doing it in safety. We're doing it in speeding.
Yes.
I mean, that's to just give some kind of comparison what that means.
Yes.
Those numbers are huge.
Yes.
It's not 1 or 2%. Nothing you mentioned was under 25%, Jam.
Right.
It's just, that's crazy.
So I guess I got to ask everyone out there, are we helping you be better? Because no one else is.
Yeah. And
right. Who else is giving you this education, this challenge, this ability, this knowledge, this continuing effort, this continuing ask? We may be the teacher. Everyone out there, we're about to like blend into the tips and tricks. So I'm like,
almost. We got some more stats.
Okay. All right. Let's keep going with the stats.
Driver efficiencies for April 2025. 121 drivers in the fleet. 10 are under the minimum score of 80. 4 of them are at 79. And with a great day today, no doubt they can end the month with that 80, which will give you your bonus.
Yeah.
If you get both, right?
If you're where their safety is.
96 drivers are over the minimum overall score of 80. 86, which are over the 85 mark for the extra percentage for the driver efficiency.
Wow. That's awesome.
Wow.
And we have 15 drivers with the overall score of 100 for the month.
How many?
15.
Wow.
Safety scores.
Perfect.
Out of 121 drivers in the fleet, 112 are over the minimum score of a 90, 9 or under. 79 drivers have a score of 95 or over, which will qualify for the extra percentage. Granted, they meet the required driver efficiency score as well. And then 9 drivers achieved to the end of the month with a score of 100.
Wow.
Wow. So good stuff.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Let's cruise along because I know Brother Dave is chomping at the bit to get to these tips and tricks. What's next? From dispatch, we're still looking for a Saturday night cars driver or drivers. Greg Wise is solo on the nights that he works, but Saturday nights, we need somebody else.
Yep. And I did look at the calendar. Next Monday is Cinco de Mayo also. So celebration there.
Nice.
And then I think there's Mother's Day and
Mexico.
Hmm?
Mexican Mother's Day.
Is it
or our Mother's Day?
Everybody's Mother's Day is coming up, but I know that we
I
can
didn't know
announce
that.
it.
There are two different dates, Jim.
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
We should celebrate those.
I was going to say celebrate them both. Huh?
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Questions from the audience. Omar Reyes wants to know, will there be a washout at yard 23?
No.
I got back up for what's next too. I made a quick note, and your question reminded me of it. So we are done digging at the new yard, and we're compacting and bringing material up will be the correct grade for foundation. So what's next is a foundation. We'll start forming a foundation and pouring mud just as soon as we get the dirt all back in and compact it. So we passed our first couple compaction tests, and we're cruising, going up. It's all positive.
Well, moving on up.
It's awesome.
It is. It was a good day. Good day yesterday.
Yeah, it was a really good day. So then the washout, I don't know. We got enough water lines. Maybe it's something we should keep in mind. It's just someplace though we have to clean up.
Yeah.
If you're washing out, we gotta clean it up. But it's a big yard. That's washing out would be world class.
Yeah, it would be nice for the drivers that couldn't get washed out somewhere to have a place to go and take care of it.
Yeah. With all of that though, you got to think of let's not abuse it. We bring back a ton of material. That kind of stuff should be sweeping out at the plants. But yeah, it's a good question. We should have a place to make us world class. Yeah.
I mean, I'm still torn on it because everything we have is capable of being swept out, Jim. You know what I mean? Are there some occasions that, a washout would be nice, right? Would that be nice? Yeah, it would. And I feel, like Jim said,
you still got to do your job, Dave. That's what we feel.
It's that borderline, I hauled a load of Coors. I need a washout. No, you don't. You need a broom out.
Yeah.
You need a sweep out. There's no load of Coors you can't sweep out good enough to go get a load of sand or rock.
Yep.
There's not. And I struggle with that. So, I mean, it's like, how much grain all of a sudden would we have back at the yard? Or, like you said, it would be washed. We would have this disaster area. And
we could probably reclaim grain and then just have 25 tons of grain.
Yeah. We could feed it to all the deer running up and down Sand Creek, right?
And then you got that too. You guys, when you're washing out at the pits, that's just lake water. That's just their plant water that they're running in. I imagine there's a cost to it, but the only water we have over there is city water.
Yeah.
It's drinking water.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a cost to running drinking water too. And I know we wash our trucks and all that kind of stuff, but there's always more to the
and
situation.
We're not going to have fire hose capability like the pit has, right, Jim?
Yeah, no, it's not.
We're going to have.
We got good water pressure, but it'll rinse a trailer out. Will it do that? Fire hose?
Yeah,
No.
I don't think you're going to stand a trailer up in the air and spray 35 feet up to the nose from the ground.
Oh, it's not fire hose.
Yeah.
You don't want it.
It ain't going to be fire hose. I can guarantee you that.
Omar Reyes, we will not have one. Safety topic of the week. If you are tired, do not fight through it. Pull over and rest. Get out of the truck for a little bit. Man, it is scary to watch somebody fall asleep when they're driving.
Yes.
If you didn't get a good night's rest, is it upsetting if somebody called out because they didn't have enough sleep? Yeah, it's a little upsetting, especially if you're calling out the whole day. But, if you're out trucking and you're getting tired and you're tired, we will not be upset at all if you pull over and get some rest or get out of the truck and stretch, get an energy drink, or drink more water, whatever it is that's going to get you through it. But don't fight it because it's a losing fight.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
one of the airline, I want to say it was one of the airline unions. I don't think it was a specific airline, but that's a big deal flying a plane, right? You can't be sleepy and, I'll put it on autopilot, whatever. Anyway, they did a study, and I don't know how long the study was, Jam, but they proved between coffee, energy drinks, yada, yada, yada. You know what keeps you up the best?
water,
Water.
especially if you're over 50.
Right? Yeah, because you're awake because you're about to pee your pants. Yeah. Yep, for sure.
Yeah.
I was going to say sex.
Sex keeps you up?
Heck yeah, that keeps you up the best.
Puts me to sleep afterwards.
So about 8:30.
Too funny.
All right. Tips and tricks. Here we are. We don't have tips and tricks as you are used to. Everything we do here is a tip and trick. So I'm going to read you a couple things because I threw this out to the team yesterday. We actually have a podcast chat, which has been game-changing for me for these outlines because all the leadership team just writes in on this podcast chat. Then I just go and pick things out of there and put on the outline, which has been great. So in the chat, we threw out that, we're looking to see what does JFW do to make drivers better. So I'm going to give you a little synopsis and we're going to dive deeper, right? If you become a driver at JFW, we guarantee you will be a better driver than when you got here. Everything from your pre and post trips, all of our truck systems to safe mountain driving, you will be better from working here. Joanne went on to say, and this is an adult show, so I'm just reading.
Are you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you know children don't listen to this show?
They listen at the beginning.
Love the music.
For the music.
So Joanne Leonard, everybody, in case you want to get official, she says, how JFW...
What's hilarious about the HR is going to lay it on you here. Yeah.
How JFW makes better drivers? We fucking care. 100.
No. I don't want to forget, Jam. Sorry. We forgot Deb in the office as a new employee.
And then we remembered it and I forgot again.
we need to, welcome her. Yeah.
Deb, we're sorry. We hope you accept our apology.
I mean, she's been, it was her third day and she's been full of smiles and joyful and saying hi and
not crying yet.
Yeah, not crying yet. We haven't, put her on arm lock
yet.
Yeah. So welcome, Deb. Sorry we missed you. Sorry. I just thought of it, Jam, and thinking about HR.
You could blame your department head for that.
I think you should rewind and start over.
Yeah,
Okay.
Jam. Sorry.
Because you had a pretty powerful entrance there. It was pretty good.
From Joanne, our HR lady. How JFW makes better drivers? We fucking care. 100% want people to succeed for themselves. We want to help people and help this industry be great. It's not only the leaders who do an awesome job at training, but we have drivers here who really care and want the best for everyone.
Amen.
Boom.
Absolutely.
That's just said.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm going to jump right in there because I've been like chomping at the bit the whole podcast. I know you guys are shocked.
Hold it back.
Right? I have.
Somebody want to go before Dave?
Yeah. Let me get in there.
We're releasing the hounds. Yeah. No, this whole thing is about being better and about helping you be better. And everybody thinks, I'll throw Rick Gray out there. And Rick, you don't do this, but a guy that could do it is like, I'm so tired of hearing the same thing every week, right? We've had drivers with Rick's tenure say that to us. Like, I don't want to listen to the podcast anymore. It's the same old thing. We're helping you be better. The goal here is to be better. And I have so many things here and I hope I don't jump around and I'm too scatterbrained, but one of the big things is this one guy that I happen to follow, Sebastian Ingen, and he's a motivational speaker, has his own business, an entrepreneur. And during every interview, he asks these questions or this question, and he wants to know your answer to it. What's most important to you at your job? Money, relationships, accolades and recognition, or growing? And there's only one answer. Growing. Growing takes care of the money. Growing builds the relationships. Growing creates the accolades and the recognition. When you focus on growing, everything else comes into play. We are helping you grow here at JFW. You may not realize it, but if you step back and you look at the training we provided just the first 2 weeks you were here, if you realize the questions we asked when Super Dave sat you down and hired you at the interview, we are helping you be better. And I bet you left that interview, Jam, we were talking before the podcast and Jam's like, I'm a grown ass man. First thing I did when I left this interview is called my mom and was like, Mom, this place is different. I think they really care. We really care. We really do. You all at some point in your life, either your spouse or you or your children, you have had a teacher, a coach, a mentor, a pastor, a someone in your life, a parent, a sibling that has helped you be better. And to be better, they've been tough on you.
Yeah,
right?
You probably hated them.
You did not like that person.
Nope.
JR just mentioned it yesterday. He said, owning my own home. My dad was always on me growing up. You need to do this. You need to do that, blah, 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 blah. And he goes, it wasn't until I owned my own home that I understood why. And I really appreciate it. But he goes, there was sure a lot of days there. And I made the joke like the Karate Kid, wax on, wax off. What? That kid spent weeks polishing the floor, polishing cars, waxing things. Like, why am I doing this? And Miyagi-Do had to show him finally, right? These are the reasons we're helping you be better. And we just talked about it. Is anyone helping that Lisi be better? He's got no one. He's got no one in this industry. You have every single person that works here helping you be better. So we're providing the tools. We're providing the information, but you still have to participate. You still have to be in the game. It's human nature to be average. We're asking you to be above average. The list of drivers.
I got to interrupt you, Dave. We're not asking. We're helping you to achieve that.
It's up to you. Yes.
Asking you is one thing. Giving you a path, giving you the tools, giving you the directions, setting the bar.
Right.
Then it's up to you.
Right. Absolutely.
So, yeah. Sorry.
But it's still that teacher. We're being that teacher. Yeah. If you had your I bet there's someone that's listening right now that can name the name of that teacher, either in grade school or junior high or high school, that was on your ass. That first report card you got, you had a C or a D or maybe even an F. And they're like, this sucks. I'm not doing that. This teacher's a blah, 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 blah. And it was the teacher's fault. And at some point, you hit that note. You hit that moment where you have the realization of, wait a minute, I can do this. And you do it. And at the end of that year, you finish that class. Hell, it may have only been a C, but you passed. And that teacher taught you something. We are that teacher. We are that coach. We are that mentor. We are that, I use the reference to Jam, a pastor. You all have someone in your life that helped you be better. We're here to help you be better. And we're asking you to be better. We want to be the championship team. Again, we talked about it before the podcast. Peyton Manning, when he stepped on the field here as a Denver Bronco, our game just got elevated. And again, we talked about it. His offense took us to the Super Bowl the first year and won. The second year, our defense took us to the Super Bowl and won. Peyton Manning wasn't on the field when we won that game. Well, I mean, he was, but metaphorically, he raised the level of our defense because of his passion for that game. We are elevating, JFW is elevating our game. We need you involved. We need you to be better. We are challenging you. And you guys are rising to the top. When we hear those statistics, we're 80.6%, or we have 80.6% fewer harsh brake events in 500,000 more miles.
Mm-hmm.
Game on. You guys are crushing it. But we need everyone involved, right? We need everyone involved. We need everyone to be like this list of drivers that Jam read off, that they're doing it. They're doing it right. They are not distracted by their phones. They are not texting and driving. They are stopping when they come to the entrance of the scale. They are doing it right. We've looked. We've seen it. They're doing it right. And again, that's Todd Dull, Mike Cisneros, Dustin Courier, Gerardo Sanchez, Matt Cummins, Dustin Jr., Andrew Nonis, Daniel Sanchez. These are a few of the names that are doing it right. And just like Jam said, because we didn't read your name doesn't mean you're not doing it right. But you need to
look at the other stats he read. We have a lot.
Absolutely.
We picked 10.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm really hoping I'm making the point that we are the people here challenging you. If you found something here you don't like, step back and realize what you don't like about it. Do you not like it because we're asking you to do something you don't think you can do or you don't want to do?
or it's just plain hard.
Yeah.
And if you don't have a challenge, you're not doing anything, Dave.
Human beings don't thrive until they're challenged. Otherwise, we just survive. It's just survival mode.
Yeah. And some sharks in the tank.
Right. And, we use that term getting off the island, and we spoke about it again before the podcast, right? You're surviving on the island.
Yeah, you might catch a fish once in a while. You're not going to die.
Yeah.
But you're just on the island.
You're just surviving. You're living. You're fine. You will spend the rest of your life on that island. Being better is figuring out how to get off that island, right? That's being better. And that is the goal. I had Dave bring out his training booklet that we talk about all the time. And oh my God, you look at the things we train you guys on. Over a week ago, we were last week, we were just at the State Patrol Safety Awards and ceremony, and we spoke about it Wednesday morning. It was Tuesday night. We spoke about it Wednesday morning. At our table sat one of the guys that's worked at the Monument Port of Entry for 5 years. He's been a manager for the last 2, and he's risen up in the ranks. He was so familiar with this, but, we mention in here about your lines dragging the deck plate, and he's like, oh, first thing I look at. If you're letting your lines drag the deck plate, you're not doing anything else. I love to look in your cab because if you're a pig, you're not doing anything else. You're not doing the tough stuff. You're just surviving. Well, be better. Here's our ask. Be better. We're challenging you to be better. Anybody?
Yeah, I just have to add that, Dave. And I know you're harping on that about us challenging us, but I got to back up because that tough teacher, that tough coach, that tough pastor, they challenged you, but they gave you the tools or they gave you the guidance to make you better, though, Dave.
And worked with you.
We're not just telling you to be better.
Yes.
It starts with Super Dave's interview. It starts with JR's orientation. It starts with the class. It goes to your trainer. It goes to dispatch. It goes to Joanne, Kathy, and Deb upstairs, working the HR, helping you with your paycheck. We've got apps. We've got questions. We've got this podcast. We've got safety bonuses. We have 401ks. We have insurance. We talk about post-trip. We talk about pre-trip. We've trained you for electronic logs. We've taught you how to go out of town. We tell you how to bump your tires. We teach you what that tire is at when it gets hot, why it gets hot. We've done everything to make you a better person and a better driver. We do that. We just don't go, oh, I hope you get better. No, Joanne's right. We fucking care about what your life is going to be. Okay? Dave talks about surviving on the island. No, we want you to thrive.
We want you off the island.
We want you to be the best because we want to be the best. We want to be world class. And you can't do that by just surviving. And the people that we mention in the, the shout outs and different stuff like that, Marty, 78 years old, he's thriving, 78 years old. I think that's amazing, and going up there and fixing the culvert, that makes us world class. The shout outs here. What company, where have you worked that they have shout outs? And maybe it sounds like we're bragging. We're bragging so we can be different and better. We send out the anniversaries. We celebrate your kids' birthdays. Where are you guys going in finding that in another company? And again, I've taken the stance in the last few months and, I try to be humble. But I'm tired of being humble when we work so hard at trying to be better. And we have, that list of people, we have our safety scores. We're doing it.
Wow.
We are doing it, you guys. And you guys are the ones doing it. Thank you. Amazing. Amazing. I've said it. This will be the 3rd podcast when we talk about Nike. We are on the curb cheering you on every day. We show up here early and with you, the management team, the owners, whatever you want to look at, the mechanics are here early, the wash bay's out there just making you look good because they wash your goddamn truck.
Making you look better.
Yes. When does somebody realize that we're doing it? It's being done. And if you don't want to be part of it, if you don't want to hear it again, that's your problem.
Well, you will slowly fade away.
Yeah.
And then that's sad to say, but there's some of those teachers that have kids in class that fail the class.
Yep.
And that teacher has given them everything they can, just like we're trying to do. You mentioned we're Nike. We're the ones standing on the curb supporting you, Jim. And, I go back to your favorite saying, about the warrior in the arena. You guys are the warriors. You guys and gals are the warriors in the arena. You are the men and women getting it done on a daily basis. But guess what? We're your support team. We're the ones who sharpened your swords. We're the ones who gave you the padding and the protection so you don't get beat up. We're the ones who fashioned your armor. We're the ones who gave you the guidance, who taught you the moves, who gave you the skills, who gave you all of that to be successful. And that's not to brag at all.
Mm-hmm.
That's to influence you to hope and help you realize what you have and what you are getting. And again, challenge may not be the right word, but the ask to continue to strive to be better. Don't be average, right?
Yeah. And my
don't
speech,
just survive.
No, you can't just survive. And the speech there, Dave, the man in the, I like to change it to the person in the arena, even though for the time it was man. But the thing is the one I love, the piece of that I love, trying to spit it out, is the person who errs.
Yes.
Because his face is or their face is bloodied and marred and dusty and dirty. We don't even care if you err if you're trying.
Yes.
Because we'll brush you off. We'll pick you up. We'll get Jan to put a compress or a tourniquet on your bleed. We'll get
the shop to sharpen your knives.
Yeah.
We're going to clean up your uniform, right?
And when we say we, that means every one of us. Every one of us. There is no just I here. If we hear the I or my, it's right. It's irritating.
It is irritating
because there are a lot of great people here making all of us better
because we are a team.
Yep.
Just like we are the JFW family.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like most of the fleet does want to be better.
Oh
yeah, Jim. There's not.
Look at those stats. You can't argue it.
Right.
But I think we need that sermon. Yeah. You know what I mean? We need that refresher course.
Absolutely.
We need that, I don't want to say slap in the face because I don't want it to be a slap in the face, but want it to be that, oh yeah, hell yeah. Right?
Yeah. I was recently asked in a conversation about JFW and it was, did you get recognized? Do they talk about you when you're doing this? When you get this award, do other people know that you got that or you're doing this? And I was like, no, that's not what this is about. Our actions and our people speak so loud that we don't need that. And then it was followed up. Well, didn't really mean that. I'm like, does your competition know that? Is your competition doing that? And I'm like,
we're too busy looking ahead.
Yes. I'm like, I don't know. And we don't care. We're better than our competition with our words and our actions, and not because we're looking at them like you just said, Jeff, we're looking forward no matter what's going on with the competition.
We don't have time to look at them because we're so busy working on ourselves.
Exactly. And then the last question, well, no, I don't really mean that. I don't mean anything about that. Are we doing the right thing is what I mean. And I'll tell you what, when we have stats like that, we are doing the right thing. When we have a group of people that you announced that are doing the right thing, we're doing the right thing. There's no question about that. When we look the way we look on the road, when we have people compliment us, we're doing the right thing. And when you leave here, that's the whole thing. Lifetime drivers would be awesome. When you leave here, though, I know in my heart, I'm saying I this time, not the we, the I, you are a better person. You are a better driver. unless you just survived here.
If you assimilated our culture and our programs, you're better.
Yeah.
Habits, then.
Yeah.
I kind of have to go with even if you just survived here, Jim.
Well,
you're a better driver because there isn't anybody that doesn't take something
away.
There isn't somebody that doesn't take something that makes them better, right?
Yeah. And we're asking you to follow rules and
it's this endless.
It's endless, yeah.
And it's not going to end. Yeah. We live in a day and a time that's different from 30 years ago. Yep. In working with Erica, everybody and their brother tells her, well, back in the day. And I mean, she'll start a conversation. She's like, I know, back in the day. And you know what back in the day was? Back in the day, it doesn't matter. It was yesterday. That was back in the day, right? We don't do it like that anymore. We have to do it like this to serve. Here's the analogy or the fact. If we ran things like we did back in the day, we're done. Yep. Out of business. Give us not even 6 months. Done.
I don't want anybody to do it. God, please don't do it. But Dave's best analogy is, how long can you look in your rears? How long can you look in your mirrors, look behind you, and drive forward? Just not very long.
Not very long.
You're going to crash.
Yep. You got to keep looking ahead, man. Yep. And that's what we do. We continue moving ahead. We continue moving forward. We do even continue raising that bar. Last year we thought we had a fabulous safety program. And man, we had some accidents. It was last year was probably our worst year in
people, Dave.
Last year was our worst year in several years, and it was disappointing. And that's when this safety program came together. I mean, I've said it before and I will say it again. I couldn't stop smiling when Sam was reading those statistics. Mm-hmm. I mean, where we have come from thinking we were safe last year to where we're at today, mind-boggling. Absolutely mind-boggling. And that's due to being challenged. We are going to continue to challenge everyone. And I hope everyone realizes that, they can take an analogy and realize, oh, this is like the teacher I had in the 3rd grade or 9th grade, or the coach I had in college, or whatever the case may be, that it kicked my ass, but I am so better because of it now. It's unbelievable.
Yep.
So, Dave?
I was going to chime in. All of that effort that we put in to teach, to coach, to train, to lecture, and it's not just us, it's maybe some of those teachers back in your grade school days or your parents or whatever, that can never stop. Because as soon as you stop, then the effort goes away. And even though you don't like it, right? To say you're a kid and you're tired of hearing your mom say, clean up your room. Guess what? When you're an adult, your room's clean. And you're telling your kids, clean up your room. And so it never, ever stops unless you want to stop being better or stop learning or just survive, right, Dave?
If you're just okay on the island.
Yeah, if you're just okay. Yeah. And if you're good enough, and I use that in the interviews a lot.
What is good enough?
It's not good enough.
Right. Totally agree, Dave.
And the thing with all that is, I just love to think about it in my whole life, and even with you three sitting at the table is, and as my kids are obviously adults, and Dave said, we're challenging you here, we've tried to give you the tools, but my wife challenges me every day. My kids as being adults, they challenge me every day. You 3 men here at the table, you challenge me to be better. The drivers that are out driving right now, you guys all challenge me to be better because I'm going to say the words, I owe it to you, but I owe it to myself to be challenged by you, to make you better, make me better.
Jim, that's the reason this Sebastian Engen, it hit home so hard for me, for him to ask his interviews, when he walks in the room to interview someone and he goes, what is most important to you at your job? And how many people do we have come in here and go, money. I need to make money. I'm in a bad spot. I have to make, $2,000 a week, whatever the case may be, money, and he asks him, is it money? Is it relationship? Is it accolades and recognition? Is it growing? What is it? He even goes a little further in the one specific reel and says, he'll put those 4 options in 4 corners and say, give them a percentage, right? Is this 10% important to you out of 100? Right. And add up to your 100. So he knows, right? He's even going another gear deeper to find out about it. And man, when he just comes out and says, anybody who tells you those others are more important than growing and being better at your craft, he's like, they're wrong. Period. Point blank. They're wrong. When you focus on growing, everything else comes into line. Every single thing else comes in line. And Dave, you've said it before in a different capacity. We'll have people that work here and they're in a bad spot in their life. They're going through problems, right? And pretty soon they're missing a day a week or 2 days a week, or they have to leave earlier. They have this hiccup or they have that hiccup. And you've said it 1,000 times, man. Just come to work every day and the rest of the shit works itself out.
Truth.
I've seen it. I've seen your words come to fruition for years. And those people that I got to leave here, I got to be off, or I call out, this happened, that happened, and they're living in their drama, and they're growing their drama because of it. And then pretty soon they're jobless on top of all their other problems. And it's just come to work and things solve themselves, right? You continue to grow and continue to push and continue to raise that bar and continue to, challenge your spouse, challenge your kids. If they're challenging you, you challenge them, accept their challenge, vice versa, whatever the case may be, to be better, to grow. When you focus on being perfect, the rest of the stuff does come in line. You don't think the O-line, when Peyton Manning was behind the center, they weren't challenged every snap of that ball, right? They weren't just looking at winning that game. They had to break it down to play after play after play. They had to dive into the devil in the details, and they had to be like, I got to block this guy. I got to block this guy for 60 minutes. For 78 snaps, I need to block this guy so he doesn't knock my quarterback down and we can win this game, right? Yeah, it's here's the tools, here's the information, here's the knowledge, here's what we're providing you. You need to be a sponge and absorb it and grow with it and take it, and you raise your bar.
I love it.
Do you?
Yeah. Challenge yourself too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jack. There's no, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I was thinking about the work comment, Dave, and we have seen it where people get deeper and deeper and deeper because they're not showing up at work, but it's the same thing, show up at work, show up for your relationship.
Yeah.
Show up for your kids.
Yeah.
Show up, just show up.
Yeah.
The thing is that that's the important thing. You gotta show up. And we're sitting here, cheering you on, trying to help you show up.
Yep.
And we work really hard at that.
Absolutely. We have people talk about work-life balance. This is a tough damn job to have work-life balance. But your point of showing up, you show up when you're at work. You show up when you're at home with your kids. You give them the all the time you're with them, right? You can't just sit down and bow out. You need to spend time with them, talk to them, pick them up from their sport, go to their teacher conference, go to whatever, participate with them on a weekend, be involved. And when you're involved in their life, it doesn't matter if it's for 1 hour a day or 5 hours a day. They know you're involved. They know you're there.
Yeah.
Pick up the phone and call them and have a conversation with them when they're on their way home from school on the bus. You know what time that is, right? You can tell Siri as you're driving down the road, hey Siri, call Bob, call my friend, call my son, call Sam, call whatever, right? It's up to you what you're going to get out what you put in.
Yeah, so true.
Man.
You just want people to realize that. That's the, when we've we've asked people, go find success elsewhere.
Yeah.
Because that's not what you're doing here.
Yeah. So,
and the great thing is how many great people we have that believe like we believe.
Right.
And if you don't believe like we're believing, again, there's going to be a separation. It's going to be an issue, and probably not for us, but we have to protect the like-minded people that want to grow.
It's just hard. It's hard. By the way, I fixed my mic. We all sound better. I had my, yeah.
Good.
This is embarrassing. I'm still learning. 179 episodes later. This is the best I've ever sounded. So
Hey,
I had,
it's the man in the arena, Jam.
Yep.
yeah, I had the mic backwards.
I'm just looking at mine now because that's the first time I've had one of these mics.
Yours is great.
Nice.
Yeah, and mine's been forward all the time, but yeah. So anyway, I just fixed it. We all sound better because mine was this way, picking up everything and not me.
Oh, funny,
yeah.
Jam.
We got some reverb going on here, driver.
Right.
Yeah.
It's so funny because you mentioned that before we even started.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I sound muffled, like something's weird, but everyone else sounds great. But now we all sound even better, and yeah, I got this thing tuned up. So it's just hard when you get the person that doesn't want to be better. I don't want to be negative, and I kind of hinted at that in the beginning before we started, but I'm still struggling when we get the person that doesn't care and doesn't want to be better. It's hard for me to want to fill their cup when they don't have a cup to be filled.
Yeah.
And yeah, like you said, like eventually, like if you don't want to be better and you don't care about anything that we're doing and you're not happy here and you're a cancer and you're spreading that, just go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't need you here.
Especially if you got nothing but complaints about us,
Right.
then we're not the right fit for you.
Yeah.
Maybe obviously you don't believe in what we believe, so don't torture yourself.
Yeah.
Find a better place. Maybe they're there and maybe they're not. I believe that they're not, but that's how much I believe in what we're doing.
Agreed.
Whether we believe there are or aren't, I mean, obviously we're biased, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you find a place that's a better fit for you because they don't really want to be better or they don't care about the things that we care about.
Exactly.
Or maybe you find another company, even a different industry, that's a perfect fit. When you move here, we want you to be happy,
Yes.
you know? And then, yeah, I mean, I think that was the most recent thing is, looking at somebody that's just not happy to be here day after day after day. It's like, we've had enough.
Yeah.
If you're not gonna go find happiness, we'll help you along to go find it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
And wish you the best. That's the other thing. We wish you
we don't want anybody to fail.
Yep. Yeah, because there is probably people counting on you.
Yeah.
And that's that. We don't want those people to have to fail.
And the thing is we wanted you to be better from that for them since day one. You show up here, we're ready to fill your cup.
Yep. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but I mean, I know you said it, Dave. You got to grow.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you've said
when
it.
you focus on growing, everything else comes into line.
Yeah, Sebastian says it.
Yep.
This is probably a stupid analogy, but because I think about it a lot, and we've talked about it. Is I ran across a guy for Alzheimer's, and there's the different stuff about taking this vitamin and doing this and staying active and everything else. And Jam, you'll love this, is they took 5,500 sets of twins. And the reason I remembered that is because they took them at age 55 and up, this group of them, and they all did squats. And there was in the 5,500, and I don't remember how they split it out doing squats, but the twins that, they split them, right? A twin and a twin. One did and one didn't. But anybody that did squats, their cognitive recognition, all of that. Recollection. Yeah. All of it improved. No matter what, they were better because they did squats.
Wow.
And so you just got to do it. That's what I'm trying to get there.
Yeah.
And that's growth. You're growing your legs, you're growing your muscles, you're growing because you got to do it.
Yeah. How deep were they squatting?
It comes to all that, all the way. Is that just body weight? Is that with the weight? What? Because I'll start doing them. Anything to save off.
Man,
anything.
If you can't pick up a beer bottle at the bottom and leave it in coming up.
Oh, that's funny. That is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's just a great stat just from doing squats and helping.
I'm going to digress a little bit. I mean, way out in the weeds, but creatine they're now finding is really, it's like brain nutrients.
Mhm.
Oh, there
You know, just regular creatine monohydrate has been proven to give your brain what it needs. So they're starting to use that in like therapy and stuff like that. But creatine is a great cheap supplement that men and women both should take to help with brain function and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the creatine, I think lots of good studies on collagen. And then, what's the other one?
Well, I mean,
And for aging, there's the
Red light therapy.
Prevagen.
well, I mean, there's also that deal that, you know, because they're trying to find out why has Alzheimer's and dementia increased tenfold in the last 30 years or 20 years. And they're really trying to isolate it. And I mean, there's speculation that they're coming out with. That's also the same time we started all the cholesterol medicine. Cholesterol is one of the binding agents around your brain that protect your brain and provide it food and nourishment. And we've lowered our cholesterol level because we've been told, because of studies, that it raises heart disease and stroke, right? And so there's some studies, right? You know, and I'm telling you, since 2020 with COVID, everything about the human body has been exposed. You know what I mean? The big pharma, the rabbit holes, what do you believe? You know what I mean? How big government controls us. And when I say big government, I mean, it's not only big government, but big pharma, fuel, you know.
It was a sales. They all sold
right. The
something.
Cattle Association, the drink milk, the
food industry.
Yeah.
The food
best way to make money is to sell them something.
Yeah.
Right.
Tell you it's the best for you.
I get it. Yeah. So I mean, you got to educate yourself on a lot of things. There's a lot of things.
Magnesium is the other one, Jan.
Oh, okay.
Yes, that I'm understanding is a helpful.
That's almost like a cure-all
on a lot of this stuff.
That goes back to like the 1500s, Jim. Yeah.
Yep. And then, but that's the reason the squats, Dave, or, you know, working out all the time, Jam, because we just don't do that as an older society when all this we have desk jobs, or we watch a lot of TV, or we sit a lot. We're not out doing something. We're not out walking, farming, hunting food. We're not doing any of that.
Right.
So there is no muscle building.
We ain't running from the lion.
Well, I'm not going to the gym today because usually Wednesdays I don't have a doctor's appointment, but 10 a.m. tomorrow.
Yeah.
If you guys want to do those squats.
What's your toughest day?
Sundays. Sunday mornings, me and I, 6 a.m.
I thought you'd grab hold.
Oh, today.
Today.
Yep. Today, Todd Zielinski.
Yep.
Shout out to Todd. Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we said that, he's like, today. I'm like, some bitch, that's a good answer.
Yeah, that is a good answer. No doubt. Soup, you want to hit us with that high road hauling? Wow.
Bam.
I've never seen Super Dave punch something.
I'll be all right. I'm used to it. I'm his boxing dummy.
You're his punching bag?
In our shared office there.
Yeah.
I've been a punching bag before.
Keep throwing stuff in the back of my head.
That's just sunflower seeds.
God, remember spitwads, you guys.
So I don't tell everybody this, but I don't do a brand new high road hauling every week.
Oh my gosh.
Sometimes
Say it isn't so.
I'm too busy
What?
to sit down maybe I don't even have an idea. Sometimes I don't even have an idea.
I want to refund.
Last week's was new. This week is recycled from January of 2019. But I've been doing this for 10, 11 years, right?
Yep.
So there's a lot of them, but this one fits really, really, really well. And I just really liked it when I came on it. So passion, your job and your life. If you want to be successful at your job, you need to be passionate about your work. You need to be motivated and driven to be the best that you can be, regardless of your job or your work. Passion, drive, motivation, zeal, call it whatever you want. It is a self-driven attitude about your job and your work that can help lead you down the path to success. Regardless of your current job, bringing passion to your work can lay a foundation for success. Not just success in your current job, but success for everything you want to try, get better at, or become the best at. You may have great aspirations for your future, but the attitude you take towards it can play a pivotal role in your career and your entire life. Passion is an emotion that comes from within you. It is your enthusiasm, your zeal, your drive, and your motivation. You don't want to just feel passionate about your job. You want to put passion into it. You want to apply all of your skills and all of your energy into your work, whatever it is. Passion does not go unnoticed. People will see how well you do your job and your attitude towards it. They will see even if a task is hard, you don't give in. You apply yourself even more to overcome it. They will notice that your drive and your motivation and their impression of you is that you put that passion into everything that you do. A company has all sorts of workers, each with their own attitude towards their job and their work. Let me show you two types of workers as example. First, there are the ones who know their job. They do it well, without complaint, and are always looking to help out for the greater good of the team. The other kind are called clock watchers. The clock watcher muddles through their work, just waiting for the clock hands to strike break, lunch, and time to go home. These people dread coming to work. They hate Monday, and they are fired up on Friday, but not for their work. Is this who you want to be? Ultimately, it is about your attitude. You may have heard, if you change your mind, you can change your life. This is a perfect example. To be passionate about anything, you have to care about it. Change how you look at your job. Remember, it's not about how you feel about your job. It's about putting passion into your work. Be passionate about your work. You must be motivated to be the best that you can be. Over time, people will notice how you feel about your job will change, and how you feel about yourself will too. And the quote this week is just one of the best. If a man is called to be a street sweeper, he should sweep streets even as Michelangelo painted, or Beethoven composed music, or Shakespeare wrote poetry. He should sweep streets so well that all the hosts of heaven and earth will pause and say, "Here lived a great street sweeper." I'm having trouble with that. Here lived a great street sweeper who did his job well. And that was spoken by Martin Luther King Jr. So no matter whatever you do, whether we're talking about your job or your relationship or anything that you put in front of you, do it with passion and do it with love and do it with pride. That's the moral of the story, by the way.
I love it.
Yeah. And there's not much different, like Dave with the Sebastian Ingen, I think is how you say it, the last one, or Eden, however you say it. But there's not much difference between passion and growing. I mean, if you have a passion about it, you're going to be growing. If you're growing, you must have had some kind of passion about what you were doing. We're just talking because to be the best street sweeper, you had to grow in your job. Maybe you had to add more water, you had to adjust the brooms, or you had to go a little bit slower, or whatever. You had to be better, right? You had to, take more time, whatever it was.
There was always these tips. Right?
Yeah.
Always these little tidbits.
Always.
Yeah. I think it's so funny, Dave, because this morning you guys are going to crack up. Dave's listening to me. I'm preparing my final thoughts, and he's listening to the stuff that I'm listening to, and I'm writing it down, and I share the same quote. And we had no, until this morning, that I didn't know his High Road Holland. I didn't know what he was using. And until he heard what I was working on, then he goes, "Oh my God, Dave, we're sharing this little portion of this quote."
So I heard you guys giggling.
I'm so far ahead of the curve. I was talking about it in 2019.
Right, man. Dave? Right on, man.
The message never goes sour.
Right? You can never stop.
It proves we haven't stopped.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It proves we haven't stopped. And I guess, I'm just going to jump in there because I'm already talking about it. But I wanted to share some things that I truly believe in. And I I've abducted a lot of this from Nick Saban. He's a world-class college coach that just recently retired. And I mean, he's a national speaker. He's a motivational speaker. He just has this amazing insight with athletes and kind of people in general. He can motivate people beyond what the typical person can do. And he shared a story about being the best you can be and to try and help people to be the best they can be. And it goes a little something like this, that, if you want to be happy for an hour, Jam, eat a steak. I know that would make you happy for an hour, right? If you want to be happy for a day, Jim, go golf, right? If you want to be happy for a week, take a cruise. If you want to be happy for a month, maybe go buy a new car. But if you want to be happy in your life, just ask one question. If I didn't show up tomorrow, would anybody miss my ass? That's when you know you've accomplished something of significance. And I always relate this back to my job, to just be the best you can be. Now I'm going to steal something else that he spoke about from Martin Luther King. Had a speech 60 to 70 years ago. He starts to tell a story about a street sweeper. Isn't that ironic, Dave?
Yeah.
And before he tells the story of a street sweeper, he goes on to explain that he goes, I always get my shoes polished when I'm in Green Bay, Alabama. And he goes, there's only one person I let polish my shoes. And I go to this gentleman and he does it with gusto. He uses the perfect polish. He rolls that rag across the tips of my shoes and puts a shine on it like nobody else. He carries on the best conversation. His heart, his balance, the way he moves the rag, polishes the shoes, details the threads. Everything he does simply makes him the best shoe shine in the world. I won't have my shoes shined anywhere else. Then he goes on to say that if you're going to be a street sweeper, you have to do it better than anyone else. You have to do it like you're building the Sistine Chapel, like you're Michelangelo painting the Sistine Chapel. You want to do it so well that you post a sign in your yard that says, you're the best street sweeper in the world, and this is where I live. If you do that, you will accomplish the very best things in life. This way, you are knowing you did the best to be the best you can be in life. Now, the challenge of this isn't normal. It's not natural. Human nature dictates just to survive, just to be average. Just like we talked about earlier. If you can survive just staying on the island, why leave? You're on the island. You'll live forever until you grow old and pass away, right? But if you want to be better than that, if you want to win the championship, if you want to be the best in the world, if you want to be the best driver in the world, if you want to work at the best business in the world, this is something you have to fight for every single day. And this is truly my belief that the JFW family is helping you win your championship. We're helping you be the best street sweeper. We're helping you be the best shoe polisher. We're giving you all the tools to be the best truck driver you can be. Not to just be average, not to just be normal, but to be better than that. So our ask is for you to be the best that you can be.
That's good.
Yeah, absolutely, Dave.
Thanks for doing that.
Me? I'm up. I don't know. I'm thinking on Dave's stuff because we just really want people to grab hold,
right?
To think about that. And,
right.
I have two things. One, I sent it to, Jam and Dave and Super Dave last week, and I can't get it out of my head. For some reason it's stuck there. But the first one is kind of like what you're talking about, Dave. Always do right by the people that you are responsible for. And in my mind, you are responsible for everyone around you. Leadership is everyone's business. You should always be asking yourself, how is it that I can positively affect the lives of those around me? And I mean, it's basically the same thing you said.
Yeah.
Same thing we've been saying. How can, when I die, I hope somebody thinks, man, he was a great leader, but by the word leader is that I positively affected somebody's life.
Right.
You know, that's the thing. That's the goal. And the thing that's just been stuck in my head, and it's the simplest, and you guys will laugh because we talked about it, and hopefully, you know, you can listen to this part over, or you can really just dive down in the simplicity of this line. And we talked about the people that we've had here, you know, at JFW and, you know, people in life. But I guess I'm going to ask, are you the person who comes to the potluck empty-handed, right? I think everybody knows what a potluck is. A potluck is where everybody gets together and they bring food.
Everybody brings an item.
Everybody brings an item. Doesn't matter. We could have 10 salads, but you brought something, right? You brought something to the potluck. But are you the person that shows up to the potluck empty-handed, complains about the food that everyone has brought? So you brought nothing, but you're going to complain about all the food that was brought, and then thinks they are entitled to take leftovers home. I mean, if you guys just, man, that's just so powerful to me. And it's so simple. You're talking about a potluck. You're talking about a party, but you're not going to bring anything to the party. You're going to eat all the damn food and complain about it. And then you're going to want to take the leftovers home. I mean, just don't be that person. We can all be better than that. My final thought.
I like it. When's the potluck? Good final thought, Jim.
You got the potatoes.
You got anything else, Sue?
Oh, I'm good.
BD, I seen you looking around like you had a hat on.
No.
No? Okay.
I'm good.
Your final thoughts were so powerful. I'm not going to I don't have anything profound like that to say today.
Was it profound, Jam? I don't mean to interrupt you. I'm talking about potluck, man. You got to make it profound.
It was a profound potluck.
So, go ahead.
I'll never show up to a potluck empty-handed.
Right? Feeling guilty.
No, me neither.
Yeah. One thing that has been on my heart a little bit these past couple weeks is if you are struggling with your fitness and you want some tips and tricks on that, or just where to get started, just let me know. I'd be happy to help you.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. It's not as hard as you think, and some people just don't know what to do or where to start, and I'd be happy to. Can't be a full-time personal trainer, but I can get you pointed in the right direction. So, and other than that, don't forget to like and subscribe to the Challenge 23 podcast. Hit that follow button. Also, don't forget to go back and listen to episode 72 to help find Amber's mom. Links to her story will be in today's show notes. Let's say the creed and get on out. Together we face and overcome all that stands before us. Together we are accident free. Together we joyfully create honest value for those we serve. Together we celebrate our differences and respect those with whom we work. Together we are accountable for our words and our actions. Together we are the JFW family. All right, everybody, thanks for listening. Be the best you that you can be. Care, show up.
Absolutely.
Give it 100%.
Got to be growing, got to be passionate, and you got to bring something to the potluck.
That's it.
Dig in and challenge yourself.
Have a great week, everyone.
Be safe, everybody.
Be safe.
I see those big, bright, shiny red trucks just a-trucking down the road. Those big, bright, shiny red trucks just a-looking for another load. Well, it's a family tradition, any Rocky Mountain day. Our fathers before us showed us the way. We worked for asphalt cowboys and concrete kings, but that's never been a problem, 'cause we got diesel in our veins. We've got diesel in our veins. I see those big, bright, shiny red trucks just a-trucking down the road. Those big, bright, shiny red trucks just looking for another load. I hear there's a couple million tons to move. I see them everywhere. So you best get out their way and watch that sand and gravel disappear. There's another run to make. We gotta get it there on time, and we got what it takes to lay it all out on the line. We'll lay it all out on the line. I see those big, bright, shiny red trucks just a-trucking down the road. Those big, bright, shiny red trucks just looking for another load. Those big, bright, shiny red trucks got the best drivers in town. They got all the tools they need to keep that hammer down. When they hit them scales, they won't need to dodge them, won't need to duck them. They just keep that hammer down, and they keep that diesel trucking. Keep that hammer down, and keep that diesel trucking. I see those big, bright, shiny red trucks just a-trucking down the road. Those big, bright, shiny red trucks just a-looking for another load. They just keep them doors a-closed, keep them butts in their seats, 'cause those customers are calling, and those red trucks can't be beat. They've gotta put the hammer down and pick up another load. Get it off the ground, keep them eyes open and on the road. Keep them eyes open on the road. I see those big, bright, shiny red trucks just a-trucking down the road. Those big, bright, shiny red trucks just looking for another load. Breaker 23, anybody got a copy on that Channel 23 podcast? Welcome, and thanks for listening.